Hey guys, it is Fruity Snacks here at FanFest again. I am joined by one of our fellow fishing community members, Una. Una, would you introduce yourself and where you're from, in-game at least, and your favorite class?
Sure. I'm Una Watanabe. I am from the Balmung server, and my main class is Fisher outside of the combat stuff. Combat, obviously, I'm a machinist.
It's great. And when you started fishing, what kind of drew you into it in Final Fantasy XIV?
So I had decided to start fishing kind of more casually. I had always been like leveling it every single X pack, but I decided to actually get really into fishing because I kind of was getting tired of a lot of the combat stuff every single patch. Like it was getting a little redundant for me, and I needed to break something up to like stave off burnout. Yeah. So I was like, might as well, I'll start catching what fish I can, and my original goal was just the Realm Reborn fish only. And then once I caught all of the Realm Reborn fish, man,
it's a mouthful. It's been a long few days.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Once I caught all of them from September into November, like very early November, I went, heck, why not? And so I decided to join the journey to big fish, and that's when I really got into it, joined the fish court and all of that.
I feel like that's kind of excuse me, I've been talking a lot, so my voice is going to crack, guys.
Same here.
But that sounds like a journey that I think a lot of people have started into fishing. I know I started with the Realm Reborn fish, specifically the Gridanian fish. I don't know why that, I just picked it.
Because it's a good city-state.
It is a good city-state. We love trees. So with FanFest, you actually brought a little mini-game here. Could you explain what it is and then maybe take me through it?
Yeah, absolutely. So my mini-game was basically, and I chose the dice before I chose the fish, so that's why there's so many of them. But there's 121 different fish from Final Fantasy XIV throughout all of the expansions that I picked up the icons for off of one of the databases, and then I took those as references and I drew those 121 fish in order to make stickers for the sticker trade that happened yesterday and is still kind of going on throughout the entire event. I couldn't decide on a good sticker design for my own character because I'm very critical of my art when drawing my character, so I figured I would stick to something that I could use a direct reference of, and so I went with the fish because I had been really into fish.
And you have, and I've seen some of it already, and you have, like, one, the art is amazing, and two, you have fish, you have the legendary fish, you even have some of the common fish from A Realm Reborn to Stormblood to Heavensward, all the way up to Endwalker. So how, if someone comes up to you and says, hey, I want to play your fishing minigame, how would they have been playing it?
All right, so the first step is actually, I did the Tackle King set because they had so many bags. So the first thing I did is I have people draw a slip out of one of the Tackle King bags, and I'll have you do that. It is a small bag. I, again, didn't take into consideration differences in hand sizes. So you actually just got a fabled fish. The blue represents the fabled, and then kind of as an example to kind of show everyone the differences is that I have, like, white is for the normal fish, the green are for the big fish, the gold are for the legendary fish, and then the blue is for fabled. And I'll leave those out for references as like we kind of run it through. And so then I always have them put them back in the bag because that way it keeps the statistical odds fair for everyone. Because you drew a fabled, the fabled are kind of the exception because they're not tied to an expansion. So you just rolled the 1d8.
Okay. And these dies have little fish in them.
Absolutely.
And they're absolutely adorable. So I'll roll a d8. I get a 5.
And so the 5, I have my fish key here. I was going to make them fish shaped, and then I realized I didn't have a laminator, so I just went with just basic ones. But a 5 is half Goofa. So then I go into my actual like bags here, and I have them organized in a way that I understand how it works for the most part until they start sliding down and I can't find them.
I would imagine that 121 fish stickers would be a bit unwieldy.
Yes, I had to really think about how I wanted to organize them, but there is half Goofa.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you've put obviously a ton of time. I've been following this for a few months now.
Yes.
In the fish court.
Yes.
What's really like your motivation for doing this for the fishing community specifically?
I really found that the fishing community was super welcoming, and they are very much caring of the community. They really want people to enjoy themselves. I know fishing is kind of considered like a niche thing. Not everyone does it. In fact, most people don't. But I wanted it something to be fun for everyone at the sticker trade as well, because I know a lot of people were just like handing stickers back and forth, but I was talking to a couple of people about that, and a lot of people weren't 100% sure if they had traded with someone already, while everyone who did the trade with me was like, yeah, no, absolutely, we know that we traded with you already.
Because you created kind of like a memorable mini game.
Yes, absolutely.
And it is really fun. I really enjoy it because you never know what exactly you're going to get.
Yeah.
Which I really think kind of brings out some of the spirit of fishing in Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
So just to kind of wrap up, we're on day 2.
Yeah.
Yesterday we saw the Dawn Trail expansion teaser.
Yes.
Is there anything specific that you're looking forward to or maybe hoping to see?
Definitely more fish, for sure.
It's a bunch of islands surrounded by water, so I'm hoping there's a few of those.
I legitimately was like, with my friends, I turned to them, I was like, that baby can fit so many fish in it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it. I was like, I was joking with one of my friends that I'm going to, the person who really kind of encouraged me to fishing was an old static mate of mine, and he also kind of retired from combat stuff a little bit more, and he logs in to catch all of the new fish, and then he kind of logs out again, and all of that. And I was like, that seems ideal. I'm gonna start kind of doing that. Now I will still do obviously all the other content because it's an excellent game. There's always stuff to be doing. But I'm very much looking forward to all of the new fish, and I'm excited to see the new story because I think that we need a vacation.
Yeah.
So when they were like, it's a vacation era, I'm about that, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think that after, even Yoshi said it yesterday, after saving the world and then the universe and then the universe again, I guess, we really do need a break. So we're getting a break in a Warrior of Light fashion where we still have to solve a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited for it. I know that this is an expansion, the style I've been looking for, and I think a lot of others have too. And I think, as you were saying, there's going to be a ton of new fish that we're going to be able to explore around the new world.
Yeah. So. And I'm excited to see if I can expand the mini game later on to include the new legendaries. Because when I started making this in March, mid-March is when I started picking the fish. That's what I was pulling the fish cord for, was for this mini game.
I think we talked about that in a DM, I think, at one point.
Yeah, because everyone kept being like, why does this random person who showed up out of nowhere keep asking us the most notable fish, and being like, no, not the most difficult, or not the most, but the most
notable one.
Yeah, like it could be because of their names or anything. I started that in March to create this, and then when I made the post, I realized that we had just gotten those new ocean ventures that had introduced new fabled, and I didn't want to have to draw 2 new fabled as well. So I was like, this is for pre-6.4, this is my pre-6.4 run. Maybe later, if I come to another FanFest or if I do other events and all of that, like I know I'm doing, I have been requested to bring my mini game to a Colorado convention later on in the year, so I might drag it there and all of that.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, let me know wherever you take it, and I will help let people know that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time here on day 2 of FanFest. If you had met with Una and you did the mini game, I hope you had a ton of fun. Obviously, if you're watching this now, it's too late to do it. But if you see them in the future, please, and if they have it, ask if they have the fishing mini game to play.
Yeah, absolutely. If you catch me. The other thing that I was going to do is that I did have people express interest on being able to do maybe a virtual version of the mini game, that I am still figuring out the ways to do it.
Yeah.
Because I would love people who weren't able to come to FanFest to play the mini game. The schematics of that, of course, would be shipping.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the hardest thing, because obviously I can use random number generators and all of that for other things.
Yeah.
But it would be the shipping. I know not everyone is comfortable with giving addresses and all of that, so it would have to be something to take into consideration.
So I'm looking forward to whatever you're doing with this in the future. Thank you for talking to me.
Of course.
And thank you all for watching.
Yeah, and thanks for having me.